I want to talk a little bit about how learning creates empowerment and actually reduces anxiety. And anxiety has become one of those emotions, unfortunately, that is most common in most people on a regular basis. I think it's something that I've seen afflict a lot of people that I know and don't know. And I think it's because it's such a diverse emotion on so many levels. So anxiety comes from the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. And learning actually brings clarity to things. So we fear what we don't understand. But once we learn about it, we actually take back our power. Anxiety often drives uncertainty, confusion, our lack of control. Learning something new replaces fear with facts. So now you have a framework, you have focus, and then you can get back on track, and the unknown is gone, like you know what's happening. Knowledge turns the unknown into something manageable and action driven. So that tamps down the anxiety so that it's not so fearful and it's not such an unknown. Every skill that you learn expands your confidence. So confidence isn't something you're born with. It's built skill by skill. When you learn something new, you prove to yourself that you're capable, you're adaptable, and that you're growing. You're not just stuck in that one spot. This shifts your inner dialogue from, I can't do this to, hey, I'm figuring this out, or I got this. And really, that's all it is. And that feels far better than I can't do this. When you've actually got a handle on something and now you've got some structure around it so that you can implement it and actually move forward. That is what can really change so much of this. Even small wins, create momentum and empowerment. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Learning creates choice, and choice creates power. I love that sentence. Empowered people don't just react, they choose, and learning gives you options to choose from because now you know more than you did before. The more you learn, the more options you see, whether it's about money, mindset, business, wellness, whatever it is. It widens your path forward. So now there are more options and things tend to open up and clear as you do it. So that means great things can come in. This breaks the scarcity mindset that's, I see so much where there's only one way to do things. So it shifts that because now that's not a reality. The reality is there are lots of ways to do things. Learning rewires the brain for growth instead of fear. The more, because you're reattaching those neurons all the time when there's new thoughts and new things happening. So the more you learn, the less reactive you become and the more resilient you feel. Learning strengthens the prefrontal cortex. Gosh, I'm having trouble talking. Learning strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision making. So it's also responsible for logic and calm problem solving. So it reduces the emotional overreaction, and therefore what happens is it builds self-trust. So yes, I did make the right decision. Yes, this is the thing I should be doing. And as you learn, your brain starts looking for solutions instead of threats. So it's definitely a shift up there with the way the neurons are connecting in your brain. Knowledge actually soothes the nervous system because it keeps it calm. And like we were talking about before, it drops that anxiety. Learning also creates self-leadership. So you don't need someone else to fix it or something's wrong because you've learned how to lead yourself. When people learn, they start making empowered, informed decisions instead of depending on others, for rescue or for permission. They don't need permission because they're ready to learn. They know more. They have knowledge. They can move forward and they can implement. And this builds deep personal empowerment and reduces panic in challenging moments because you have a plan and you have a way out or you have options to do things. Learning shifts you from helplessness to being resourceful. And if you know how to learn, you'll never stay stuck for long because you'll be moving. Most people aren't actually stuck. They're just missing knowledge or tools. And that is such a truth. When you replace I can't with I haven't learned this yet, the path opens and things start to come in. The simple act of learning moves you from powerless to proactive. And that means that you're actually doing something that's moving your needle forward. Learning isn't just for knowledge, it's a form of self-care as well, like a form of self-leadership and emotional strength. And the more you learn, the more you're actually going to rise. And that is huge.